Good morning, cultists. Welcome to Dessert Time with CthuLoops. Alright, so we recently finished our Goblin of Göttingen campaign, which means that it's now time to take a trip down memory lane, talk about what happened, what we can do moving forward, and of course take a look at the rest of the world. Pretty much in that order, I think. Alright, so right off the bat, I think this campaign was a great success. Granted, we didn't have very many concrete goals besides becoming the ruler of the Holy Roman Empire, so I suppose you could say that we didn't have very many avenues of failure, but still. I guess our overarching campaign goal was more conceptual, being that it was to explore the extent of our intrigue system, which I think we've done. Maybe not so much the seduction part of it, but still. I think we do enough seduction in other campaigns that maybe this wasn't really necessary. Hopefully not. Though, I do feel like maybe we could have tried blackmailing people after seducing them a bit more. But, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so let's go through our lineage, first off. Starting with Duchess Hedvig of Turd, who didn't actually start out as a duchess. No, I believe she started out as a countess, owning the counties of Göttingen and, of course, Gleikenstein. I think we took Schmalkalden from someone else, didn't we? Or did I not? Yes, conquered by claimant. So I guess we started off with Gleikenstein and Göttingen. And of course, we cannot ignore the fact that this campaign was made successful mostly due to the dung mines of Remmersburg. Yeah, this huge economic boost was, I think, a large contributing factor to the success that we saw in this campaign. Not to imply that everything was propped up by that, but yeah, I think the mines certainly made this a more kind of easy mode, I guess you could say. That being said, though, I guess a lot of our money went into armies? No, building stuff, and also maybe bribes in terms of what's it? Oh yeah, we also hired a lot of mercenaries, never mind. So they were pretty instrumental in our success here, especially in the military department, what with our characters not being super militarily strong, right? Yeah, let's see. Who was our strongest military character? Zeister with 8 martial? Wow. Okay, well anyway, sorry. We were on my grandmother Hedvig when I suddenly started talking about something else. Funny that Hedvig was the one that ended up with the seductress trait. Looking like the way that she does. Not to imply that she looks abnormal or is in some way unattractive. But she does have very strong cheekbones, which I was kind of disappointed wasn't as pronounced in Zeister, and even much less so in Grayscale Leo here. I was really hoping that this feature in our, wow, rather short stature. Was she actually like barely taller than her dwarven husband? So maybe she wasn't quite a dwarf, but maybe she had the same thing that Danny DeVito has. Yeah, maybe that's what made her really short. Or she could have actually been the ancestor of Danny DeVito, right? The Schwarzlunge dynasty, which I've been told is spelt incorrectly if I wanted to do black lung in German, which by the way has its own name. So Schwarzlunge is not in fact a black lung. I think in German it's more like dust lung or something like that. But anyways, yeah, we started off as the Countess of Göttingen and Gleikenstein. We founded our own house, which I guess is different from the dynasty, right? Now I realize that this is a different branch, and it seems that house heads are different from dynasty heads. So I think the dynasty heads get stronger powers, but the house heads also get certain, I guess, powers to do stuff of their own. Yeah, so house heads are the ones that get the weak hook on the family members and can call members to war and also demand conversion of landed members. Whereas with dynasty members, I guess with the dynasty members, we can do the whole disowning and disinheriting stuff, right? I think that's what it is. Whereas with the house member stuff, it's more, not historical? I don't want it to sound, it's kind of weird to say, but it's more like, more to do with surface level stuff, if that makes any sense. Whereas with like the dynasty member stuff or the dynasty head thing, I guess it's more to do with the cutting off or reinstating of someone's bloodline and all that jazz, if that makes any sense. Sorry, I'm like jumping all over the place. My mind is so scattered right now, as it always is, of course. Anyways, so Hedvig here lasted until the tender age of 64, which is actually relatively young for a lot of the characters that I play, I guess. Yeah, so she ended up with Torturer and Seductress, which is interesting. Huh. Yeah. And I think, let's kind of go through the different perks and all that stuff. So Seductress and all that jazz, I think we've seen the power of Unshackled Lust, because if you have any malices towards your attraction and whatnot, definitely a necessity, I would say. Subtle Desire, I guess if you're trying to seduce someone of your higher rank or maybe of a family member. So, I mean, we've played around with the seduction stuff before, so it's nothing too crazy. But, I suppose, like I said, it would have been great if we could have actually explored this a bit more in that, in its capacity or its interaction with the blackmailing system and all that stuff, but that's fine. Torturer, though. Dark Insights, pretty cool, I would say. Dreadful and all the other stuff that has to do with dread. Nothing too crazy, I guess. No. I guess this is kind of useful. Yeah, because if you end up with a lot of dread, then, I mean, dread is easily maintained by executing prisoners and all that stuff, so, you know, it's not too crazy. And I feel like it's a bit more of an unbalanced perk in that it's not as useful, but anyways. Divine Retribution also pretty useful. So I think being able to torture and gain some stats, as well as being able to do that to relieve your stress if you're sadistic, is quite powerful. But yeah, I guess Prisons and Feudal Complex is pretty cool too, because just looking around the realm now, if I wanted to, for example, convert this guy or get into the imprisonable with a good reason, then I can do that, and then I have a pretty strong chance of imprisoning him because of my Prison Feudal Complex, even without the hook. And with the hook, of course, it's even more powerful. So yeah, I think Prison Industrial Complex is actually pretty cool to pick up, especially if you're in the market of chopping and changing your vassals every now and then. Like if you expect to go through a lot of religion changes and all that stuff or whatever, you can maybe just try to imprison your vassals or your strong vassals and do whatever you want with them. Yeah. Sorry, again, I'm like jumping all over the place. Where was I? We're talking about the intrigue tree and what we found useful, so I guess we got that out of the way. Was dreaded, was illustrious, was a devoted servant, and fought in 13 wars. Wow. We have fought in a surprising number of wars, despite not being very militarily focused in this campaign. Though I think it actually also counts your vassals' wars, don't they? Oh wait, no, does it? I'm actually not entirely sure, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. I don't quite remember. But anyways, so in terms of the intrigue stuff that we got to experience with a Hedvig here, I don't think we actually really came into the love and joy of the intrigue tree until we hit Zeister's rule. Because with Hedvig, I think a lot of the times we were just basically... Wait, that wasn't all she killed, was it? No, hold on. Wait, so do we not remember? Oh, it doesn't tell you which ones you assassinated, even though they were your characters before. What? Okay, so if you look here, you can see that 3 people died under mysterious circumstances under my rule, or in my, for me. Oh, yeah, you don't see the assassination stuff that was never revealed, even though you played it as them before. But anyways, I'm pretty sure Hedvig left a rather long line of dead bodies in her wake. So I think a lot of our intrigue energy was devoted to, what was it, assassinating people with Hedvig. Yeah, which was, you know, cool, but I don't think that's really the meat of the intrigue system. No. What else did Hedvig accomplish besides establishing the Duchy of Turd? I think she also... Oh, was Turd all we had? I thought we had more than Turd with Hedvig, but I guess not. No. Okay, so this one was... Right, this guy had it, and then eventually Hedvig took it over. Conquered it, even. Von Weimar. And that was... Oh, still living members. Oh, and my prisoner, too! I think this just really highlights the whole... How cool it would be if we had access to, if we had a rival dynasty mechanic in this game. Yeah, I think especially in this campaign, it would have been really awesome to see rivalries forming, like actual rivalries forming with entire dynasties or houses or whatever. Then we could have, you know, had some extra drama on top of everything that was happening. Yeah, I would love to see that whole rival mechanic deepened a bit more. Because you hear about that in medieval dynasties a lot, don't you? Like rival dynasties dicking each other over, etc., etc. Like, you know how Charlemagne was really upset because someone ate his last donut and then he went on a rampage, started rubbing his genitalia on the faces of all of his courtiers, which of course sparked the war with places being undisclosed locations that I can't reveal about because clearly it's still historically relevant, which contributed to the Great Donut Wars of Denmark and Sweden. You know, the war that was separate from the other war that happened between those two countries. Anyways, it's not something that people like to talk about because it brings up some sore memories of lost donuts and all that jazz. Anyways, what was I talking about? Donuts? Fuck me. Hedvig. Right, so... What else did we accomplish with Hedvig? She started out as Catholic, right? Which we actually seem to navigate through fairly decently. Yeah, it wasn't too difficult to navigate through the Catholic system to ensure that we only had a daughter inherit. And upon reflection, I actually should have let Dung here live. Because then she would have been a perfect candidate to have as a placeholder ruler. Yeah. Oh well. Hindsight is 2020, right? I almost said hindsight is 50-50. What the fuck kind of vision is 50-50? Well, I guess if you're Hawkeye or whatever, maybe that Marvel Avenger character, Hawkeye, perhaps you'd have 50-50 vision. I don't know. He doesn't strike me as a very interesting character, but anyways. I hope those aren't fighting words for you guys, but... what was I talking about? Okay, so... What I wanted to talk about was actually not at all related to the intrigue system at all. No. I actually wanted to talk about how interesting it was that this one incestuous marriage resulted in a long line of severe deformities in our dynasty. Like, how did this even happen? Okay, so looking at the ones that died, maybe, is there an easier way to do this? I guess we can maybe look for Schwarzlunga. There we go. Actually, we'll just do everyone. Okay, so, she was married to her nephew, So I guess you could say this was an avunculate marriage, right? Which, when it comes to incestuous marriages, isn't the biggest offender. But it still resulted in so many deformities. Like, look, holy shit, Scaly lisping our first child, Sovix. And then we also had, who else did we have? Zeister, who was born with a club foot. Followed by Dung, who was sterile. And of course, Sacco Shit, who was a giant. So, 100% of our children, as Hedvig here, deformed, I guess you could say. Which was really just bizarre, because I didn't think it was that bad of a incestuous marriage, the avunculate marriage, but no. It just, for generations to come, it really, really just helped us lead into the whole, Goblin, playthrough. Yeah, if anything, I thought it would be the height that would be inherited, but no. It was everything but. Like, holy shit. I thought that was kind of interesting, actually. But, I don't know if that's maybe an imbalance of the system. Perhaps they need to, rejig, how strong and incestuous of a relationship is before they determine whether or not characters farther down the line end up with the in-bed trait. Because what? Zeister's first husband, who was the Prince of Denmark, I believe, he wasn't related to us. But yet Electros was born inbred. Unless we were. Which I don't think we were. Yeah, usually there would be a blood mark or something like that, if they're related to us in some way. But I don't think they were at all. So that was weird. A little bizarre, I must say. Because I can see this happening if Hedvig was banging her brother, like her, you know, full brother, or maybe even like half brother or father or something like that, or son. But an avunculate marriage? I mean, yes, there's a relatively higher level of kinship in all the genetics and all that jazz, but still, I didn't figure it was going to lead to 2 generations of issues with our blood and all that jazz. But of course, we also kind of lean into the whole seduction and cheating on our husbands to acquire the blood that way, or the traits that we wanted and all that stuff, if that makes any sense. Anyways, I think that's about all we need to talk about with Hedvig, as great as she was. Sadly, Zeister didn't quite inherit the strong cheekbones as Hedvig. I think it became a bit more pronounced as she got older, which is kind of cool, but still not nearly as pronounced and goblin-like as Hedvig here. Yeah. Oh, she ended up looking more like her father. I see. As did Electros, with that kind of longish face. Oh, wait, no. Oh, never mind. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong generation here. No, never mind. And I guess we didn't really let the other children grow up long enough to see how they would have featured our strong genetics, but anyways. Okay, so Hedvig had Sovix, Zeister, Dung, and Sakoshet. And then we come to Zeister, our second ruler, who lived to be 72 years old, and what else did she accomplish? Ah, right, she founded the cult of Lamashtu, which was definitely a very historical and very real religion, obviously. Though I think Lamashtu is actually a goddess of the Babylonian people, I think? Yeah, I think it's a Babylonian, like an ancient Babylonian goddess figure. I think she might have been the goddess of fertility or something like that. It's a it's an actual, now obviously the Pathfinder world takes inspiration from the real world and all that stuff, so yeah, Lamashtu actually does exist. which I didn't know when I think I didn't know when I came up, or when I decided to go with the Cult of Lineage 2, but anyways. So with our Cult of Lineage 2, the tenets, or the one tenet Sacred Lies, turned out to be kind of interesting. Divine Marriage and Carnal Exaltation kind of worked out the way that I expected it to, I guess you could say. Nothing too surprising. I don't think we really got to explore Divine Marriage as much, though I have noticed that Simus has now married Bruno, who is her son. So at least she's practicing a bit of our glorious Wincest here. Yeah, and... Oh. Wait, hold on. Oh, I see. So Bruno here has already had a couple of children with... Oh, nice. Yeah, he's had a couple of children with his sister. That's hilarious. Anyway, she's dead, so not too important, but, where was I? Oh, right, so our religion. Yeah, so I think Sacred Lies is interesting in that it's a bit of a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because while it certainly makes things a lot easier for you, the player, to get schemes going, because people of this religion are more inclined to join schemes, it also makes it easier for other people of this religion to plot against you, I think. Either that, or I think, actually, now that I think about it, nowhere in there does it say that the person instigating the scheme has to be of this religion as well, right? I think it just means that anyone of this religion is more inclined to join a scheme. Yeah, so I think what you could do is, if you found a religion, if you wanted to go for a more subtle kind of sneaky playthrough, I suppose what you could do is, when you create a new Christian faith or whatever, maybe not go for something too different from the original religion. Maybe just go for Sacred Lies, and then perhaps what you could do is just marry a whole bunch of your courtiers and whatnot to the target, and then we can get them to perhaps help you out with the, or to the target. Sorry, marry your courtiers to the target's courtiers, etc., which we've also kind of done a little bit in this campaign, but I do wish I kind of kept on top of that for sure. I guess most of our court is from the prisoners, right? Yeah, because I guess doing the marriages between courtiers is the maybe intended way of recruiting people in CK3, which wasn't what I like to do in CK2. I like the buying favors and all that jazz, but I think in CK3 the idea is to kind of get people by arranging marriages and all that stuff. Yeah, but kidnapping also works too, which we've discovered as Zeister. Sorry, what was I? Oh, right, so the Sacred Lies stuff. What else was interesting? Yeah, being able to... Yeah, this whole very unbalanced or unequal treatment of female versus male adultery stuff. I actually really like that they separated this, because then it makes it so much easier to exploit your vassals of a certain gender and all that stuff, right? So if you intend to run a, I guess most feudal realms in the old ages were authoritarian. So I guess if you're planning on running a more authoritarian realm, that's certainly a good way to do it. And I think what you could do is maybe even just make it equal. That way you have a lot more. If I had made it equal, then we would have seen some dudes take up the stuff as well, and then maybe you can perhaps seduce them, and then expose that, or blackmail them or whatever, and then keep them in your hook for, or well, basically forever, as we've seen with the strong hooks and such, which has turned out to be amazingly useful. Because I think our strong hook allowed us to do a lot of shit that we maybe would not have gotten away with. Because I think it prevents people from taking hostile actions or schemes against you. So I think our liege, when we had the strong hook on our Kaiser at that time, Couldn't even revoke our titles, nor plot against me, nor, well, obviously can't start factions against your own vassals, but still. Yeah, so being able to fabricate hooks and all that stuff, really, really useful. So I think out of the schemer tree, my favorite perks, Truth is Relative and also Kidnapper. Yeah, and let's talk about Kidnapper a little bit as Zeister. I think we've pretty much discussed the religion stuff. Oh, also, I didn't hate having a pope. Not gonna lie. I thought I was gonna be like, oh man, I'd have to listen to the pope and all that stuff. Wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad, though. I think if we had given, or if we had decided to take on communion, maybe would have had more options of interacting with the pope. Because I think without this, you can't do the same thing that we used to be able to do as a Catholic. Yeah, so monasticism allows me to order people to take the vows, but I think it's communion that allows me to interact with the Pope, in that I can seek indulgences and also get him to excommunicate people. And obviously, that can only be done by the spiritual heads of faith, so it prevents the overpowered ability to just excommunicate whoever the hell you want. Which I'm okay with. So, yeah, I think in a future campaign, as a Catholic, maybe we stick with Catholicism, or perhaps try not going too crazy different, and maybe just, you know, branch it to something a bit more along the lines of what's already there, if that makes any sense. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so let's talk about Zeister's career. So Zeister, cultural head, etc., etc. Oh, I guess we weren't the cultural head before. So who was the cultural head before that? Oh well, doesn't matter. Anyways, Zeister. I wish I could see the people that were killed, but for the most part, I'd say Zeister was kind of famous for kidnapping and all that such, which I gotta say, I love. I absolutely love. And I think kidnapping is what really makes intrigue. So, my overall feeling with the intrigue system, and again, I'm so sorry for jumping between topics here, but I feel like overall the intrigue system, you can take it pretty far. But if you want to do an intrigue-only playthrough and still be able to expand territories and all that such, it's going to be very long and quite slow, because I guess what you could do is kidnap people, or maybe try to fabricate a strong hook on them or something, and then force them to get them to marry your children or whatever in with their children in a way that's favorable for you, so that the claims end up with your child or your dynasty. So I think there should be a way to do that, and you can also get through wars by kidnapping people as soon as the wars happen, or even just prevent it from happening altogether by kidnapping them in the first place. So I think what we did with the Kaiser, when we didn't have that strong hook anymore, was instrumental in our survival, because he was in my prison, he couldn't do anything. And also when we kidnapped the various rulers of other nations, really, really cool being able to completely fuck over their inheritance and all that stuff. Look at this. I mean, these dudes were one realm, and then they just got broken up and just completely shattered because I decided to fuck around with their inheritance and install someone who was Lamashtan in this place. Really, really bizarre, but also really hilarious and quite powerful. Look at this guy. He's a peasant leader. A peasant leader. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. But anyways. Granted though, I guess they've made it so that you can't exploit it as easily, because, you know, being able to win the war instantaneously as soon as it starts is quite powerful. But that being said, I think they, from my perspective at least, it seems that they've balanced it decently, in that if you try to kidnap someone who's at war with you, you get a negative 200 malice. So if you are able to somehow coax a whole bunch of people in that court to go ahead with a kidnapping despite the war, and you can pull it off, I think that should be rewarded. I think that should honestly be a viable method of playthrough, or a method of play. Because you could say that, oh, it's very gamey, etc., but there's a way to balance that. And it is balanced. From my perspective, it seems balanced in that negative 200 malice is a pretty powerful malice. And if you can somehow find your way to overcome that, then why not? Why the hell not? That's awesome. That is really awesome, because then that means that either you're super rich, or you found a way to somehow work the system to work for you in that regard, if that makes any sense. I may just be rambling at this point, but I don't know. I like the idea, so I'm definitely behind more of that for sure. But also being able to kidnap people and ransom them for a lot of money, and also being able to kidnap heirs relatively easily. Pretty fucking cool. Pretty fucking cool, gotta say. I am a little miffed that we kind of missed the opportunity to ransom this guy, and also the former heir of the, not Abbasids, but the Gurgans. Yeah, of the Seljuks, I believe. So it's a bit of a shame, but it's fine. We know that that's doable for sure. It's just a matter of, you know, keeping track of the people on your list and all that stuff. Oh, he's still in there. Well, 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 good sir. Well, well, well. No, let's not. That's fine. Although I guess one thing I wish I could have, maybe finished off was these two duchies. Yeah, because right now it's a little messy, isn't it? Poor Pomerania. You only have the one duchy left, right? I guess so. Wait, don't we have a truce with this guy? Oh, right, no, his liege died from the plague! The plague that we released onto their court! Oh my goodness, that was awesome, holy shit! Wow! Biological warfare! We can trace where this bubonic plague in this court came from, too. That came from our dungeons. Oh, yeah! Because there was that one dude that we imprisoned who had the disease. I forget who he was exactly. But we let him go, and he went back into his court. And then he... Oh, that's so funny. That is absolutely awesome. Oh, man. See, that would have been another great thing for a rival dynasty kind of situation. But anyways. That was pretty cool. A happy little accident. For us. Maybe not so much for them, but still. And Zeister also became a lunatic, which I've noticed doesn't really have as much of a bearing as it used to back in CK2. Because I think, I mean, sure, there's the attraction and vassal opinion malice and all that stuff, as well as the health malice, the tiny health malice. But I've noticed that the events don't pop up as much as they used to back in CK2, like the whole howling at the moon kind of stuff. I expected a lot more, and I was also hoping that we could pass the Pants Act or the Turnip Act. Sadly, that opportunity was not given to us, but yeah. Oh, one thing that I found really cool was more so than our genetics being inherited, was the fact that we were somehow able to pass on our sadism to our children. I guess we kind of got lucky, right? Because this is more of an RNG thing as to whether or not you get to see certain trait pop up for your children. But I think it's kind of more skewed towards traits that you own yourself, so maybe. But it would also be kind of cool to maybe see a legacy perk thing where you can where you can get like a guaranteed trait to pass on or something. That would be pretty cool, but also I guess somewhat more powerful, right? Yeah. Oh, another thing that I found interesting in this campaign was that our malices, I mean, besides Scaly getting in the way of seducing anyone, weren't too bad. Like, the fact that we weren't a genius didn't, I feel, hinder our campaign as much, which I may take into consideration in future campaigns, because I'm always trying to maintain, you know, a certain level of intelligence and stats in our rulers and whatnot, but didn't turn out to be that bad at all. Despite our average intelligence and whatnot, it seemed that we were still able to pull off a lot of our stuff, so I am, yeah, I'm okay with, I mean, I guess I'm more okay with having non-geniuses rule our realms and all that stuff, but yeah. And I think something I did a little bit better this time, as opposed to previous campaigns, was arranging marriages between my family members and all that stuff. Not between family members, but rather between my family members and other people, and getting alliances, and also making sure that our dynasty is kind of more flourishing, I suppose you could say. And also really cool that we got to experience the Crusades and win it, of all things, which I wasn't expecting at all, but another happy little accident. Unhappy accident that she got imprisoned by the Pope, but yeah, I'm not really sure how to help you out there, besides maybe just completely annihilating this guy and everything he owns, but I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon, so you're on your own there, Simus. So what else did Zeister accomplish? Founded the religion, also became the first queen of Germanus, which took a fair bit of doing because of the enormous fucking girth and length of this kingdom. Like, holy crap. There's so many duchies in this thing. My god, really? I mean, shouldn't this be more like Swabia, or I don't know if that's a legitimate kingdom, but I feel like this could have been broken up into 2 kingdoms. And maybe it should have incorporated I guess that is true though, Mecklenburg and Nordmark being traditional Pomerania and all that jazz. Yeah. It was a bit of an unfortunate kingdom for us to work with or aim for, because, you know, we decided to go for decided to stay away from the more martial side of this game. So it kind of made acquiring this kingdom a bit more, I guess, slower paced and difficult. I think if we had focused on the military stuff, that would have been a lot easier to do. Sorry. Simply because, you know, I can attack my fellow vassals a lot easier and not have to worry about mercenaries, or not have to worry about, you know, whether or not I'm leading into the martial side of things a bit too much. But having said that, though, obviously, I think the best way to play CK3 is not to just focus on one system entirely. I did this for the purpose of this campaign because I wanted to really explore the intrigue system and see how far we can push it. Which, again, I will say that I think we've accomplished a fair bit. Maybe not the full extent of it, but maybe that's something else that we can explore in the future. But not as a intrigue-focused playthrough, but yeah. Now, I think it's meant to be kind of done as a mixture of different things. But also kind of in phases, I suppose you could say. So I think the martial system is kind of more useful starting out. I'm not entirely sure about the diplomacy tree. I think it's kind of good for a vassal. Stewardship, always useful, especially once you own a large realm, I think. Learning is also pretty useful. But I think once you get your technology up to a certain level, and your religion, all that stuff, it's more of a... Now, granted, there are parts of it where, like, learning on the job is pretty powerful, because it adds... if you have a really strong counselors, then you'll also have a really strong... stats, or stronger stats, and also crazy good learning score. So it's pretty useful throughout, but I feel like it's one of those things where once you've established the religion that you want and gotten your technology up to a certain level and you've basically beaten everyone to the punch, you don't really need to focus on it as much. So then you switch over to a stewardship. Yeah. So I think, obviously, if we had played this the way that it was quote-unquote intended to, we could have acquired Germanus a lot faster, but again, I wanted to see if it was possible to do it via intrigue, which it is, I will maintain. Since you are able to win wars via the intrigue system, and also being able to force people to take marriages that are more favorable to your side, etc., etc. Pretty cool. But I'm thinking in the future, maybe... Yeah, truth is relative. I might want to pick this up in the future as well. Because I think... I mean, granted, there are downsides to getting caught, right? But I feel like something else that we want to focus on in the future is basically just having all of the systems running at the same time. And now that I've explored the powers of the intrigue system, I think I'm going to be a lot more cognizant of that. So, yeah. Hopefully, I'll remind myself to check this out again in the future. But, sorry, where was I? Okay, so... Zeister... And I kind of wish I could see her lovers and all that stuff, because I forgot who she cheated with. Did we have any children with the... I forget. But anyways, Zeister founded the Kingdom of Germanus, and also had Electros, who was our first inbred character, and also Dwarven. If he had been born a girl, he would have been perfect. Or she would have been perfect, but sadly he was born a boy, so yeah, it didn't quite work out for him. And then we had Hedvig, who briefly ruled over the Kingdom of Denmark, but had to be relieved of her position because she was grossly incompetent. And when the fuck did she get seductress? And why were you not seducing people? I think she might have gotten it later on in her life. Yeah, because I don't think you get the lifestyle stuff until you start ruling, right? Yeah, so I suppose it would have been impossible for her to have had that before. And then Bertha was also an adulterer. Interesting. She was meant to be the one to rule over Denmark, but sadly she was murdered. By whom? I have no idea. My guess is that it's still William? Who I think was her, ex-husband? Yeah. Oh, right, I also had children with William. Right, because he was a consort. Which, of course, makes this relationship quite interesting. Anyways. Yeah, I kind of wish I could see what happened with Bertha. My money's on William, but I could be wrong, because I think she had a rival who was not her ex-husband. But, yeah. Anyways. Oh, sorry, so I was going through the children of Zeister here. And then we had Simus, who ended up as the Queen of Jerusalem, who is seemingly a very decent, schemer. So, good for you, girl. I mean, her education didn't turn out so well, but she seems to be doing quite well for herself, despite being imprisoned right now. But, you know, up until that point where we summoned her for the war for Jerusalem, or for the war for Rome, yeah, she seemed to be holding her own here, and didn't really need much of my support in terms of, you know, staying afloat in this very hostile region, or at least hostile towards Christians. Yeah, so interesting. What else? I keep doing it this way, but I really don't need to. Sorry, I just need to, like, there we go, and then just do it that way. I'm sorry. I'm, like, kind of set in my ways there, I guess you could say. What was it? I feel like, though, we couldn't lean into the goblin-y traits as much, because some of them are kind of detrimental, aren't they? I do wish that the quote-unquote negative traits had more balancing factors. Like, I think it would have been great if we gotten, maybe not arrogant. Impatient, I guess, isn't too bad, but it's not great either. One thing I kind of wish I had been able to acquire was Gluttonous. Yeah, unfortunately, it lowers our stewardship, which is a fairly important stat, because it allows us to hold on to territory. So it's a bit of a balancing act between, I guess, role-playing a goblin-y dynasty, who's all about the degeneracy and doing kind of weird shit, versus, you know, not screwing myself out of being able to accomplish our goals and all that stuff. That makes any sense. So it would have been cool if the, I mean, I get that, you know, it's got a bit of a balancing factor, and that gluttonous increases the amount of stress loss and all that stuff. So, I don't know. I do feel like the stewardship malice is pretty heavy price to pay, but who knows? Maybe if I'd actually gotten it, things would have worked out differently, but I don't know. Anyways, so I think that's about the extent of Zeister's life that we need to talk about. Her other children, unfortunately, didn't really live very long for various reasons. Now, Transylvanian, I was actually really hoping that would survive. One thing that I'd hoped to kind of lean into more in this campaign was just letting my successors, or letting my character, or the children, just inherit and not manipulating the system too much, but it kind of just worked out that way, I guess you could say. Simply because of the fact that I wanted to make sure that our sons didn't inherit, and also because I wanted people with the correct traits to inherit, and extend our goblin-y dynasty and all that stuff. But yeah, ideally it would have been great if Hedvig turned out to be a better character, more deserving of rule, with you know, better deformity and all that stuff. And then we could have had the other children inherit other stuff, not the sons obviously, but you know. But yeah, kind of just worked out this way. I'm thinking maybe in a Muslim campaign or something, because I think that's kind of the idea here with the clan system. Or maybe not strictly a Muslim campaign, but maybe in another campaign where we play as a clan or something. Perhaps we can explore that system of siring a lot of children, and also getting them married off to various vassals and all that stuff. And letting them inherit and all that kind of stuff. We might want to explore in the future. So, yeah. And I think that's it. So now we come to Grayscale Leo, who was the youngest daughter of Zeister. Wasn't really the one to my first choice to rule, but you know, kind of worked out. So, and you know what? I'm actually kind of glad that it worked out this way, because we kept the sadistic line, and also she's lustful, and she's got the scaly skin. Turned out to be elusive shadow. So yeah, she had a lot of great things going for her. So it kind of worked out for the best, I guess, in a way. Another happy little accident. It is a shame that the scaly skin was a huge factor in me not being able to seduce people, though. Again, I do feel like the attraction bonus and also malice are a little too strong. I do wish that there was a maximum cap in how much your opinion could be affected by the attractiveness level. Now, granted, as a horny dude, I get the appeal. I get the idea of like having a crazy high opinion of someone that you find attractive. I get that, but just because you find someone attractive or unattractive does not mean that you absolutely fucking hate their guts, right? Because if you look at this guy, for example, I mean, poor example because, you know, he's religious and also we're of the wrong religion. So ignoring the whole religion and like witch and all that stuff. Wait, I guess I don't get the scaly skin modifier anymore. Oh no, I still do. Yeah, now, granted, it's a... What? Negative. Oh, vassal opinion. Right. But when this was, in play, at least, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, my scaly skin didn't go away. I'm not any less attractive or more attractive than I was before I hit infertility or menopause or whatever. So when I was fertile, why the fuck were people harping on the fact that I had scaly skin? Do people look at me and think, oh, she's got scaly skin, she's not very fertile, or she's not that fuckable, so I'm gonna fucking hate her? Doesn't make any sense. I mean, I've worked for people that I've considered, you know, both attractive and unattractive. I don't work any differently. I don't work more because my boss is some, I don't know, handsome dude, or I'm not even attracted to dudes, but like, even if it were a attractive woman, I wouldn't work any harder or any less hard because I was attracted or not attracted. But I don't know. Maybe these were different times, but so maybe that's why. But what I'm trying to say is that I feel like there should be a cap to the level of malice or bonus you should get from the attraction stuff, because it really just doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, the fact that it went away just because I'm 50? It's like, what? Anyways, so I'm like going off track here. What else? And now I really don't need to go through this window here. I guess Grayscale Leo. Yeah, I mean, granted, we became the Emperor, and it was pretty cool to try out the system where we. Oh yeah, we get to. I guess we actually got to explore the faction system a bit more, or at all, because we were playing as a vassal this time, which I really enjoyed. Not gonna lie, and I would like to play as a vassal again in the future for sure. So. Don't worry, this is not the end of it. I guess her notable accomplishments were, well, basically the fact that we took on some pretty notable concubines. Yeah, we have Egbert here, and his brother Da Fuck, who, you know, would have been great if he had been born a girl, but sadly, 'twas not in the cards, it seems. Yeah, not to downplay Grayscale Leo's accomplishments, but I think her path to success was basically paved by Zeister. Yeah, of course we're always standing on the shoulders of our predecessors and giants and all that stuff, so it's not, you know, completely untrue, but still. Yeah, I don't know if there's much to say about Grayscale Leo. I guess with Grayscale Leo, we started the whole witch thing. Or no, that was Zeister, wasn't it? Yeah, it was just a bit of a secret for her. I do wish there was an easier way to... I suppose the witch thing is pretty powerful though, so... Yeah, maybe an easier way to trigger the witch thing might be a little unbalanced, but... still pretty cool. Anyways. Oh, in the future, I would love to be able to accomplish these things, so restore the Roman Empire, mend the Great Schism, dismantle the Greek pretenders and all that jazz, but it might be a little while before we come back to playing around the Holy Roman Empire. If we do play as another Christian realm, I don't think it'll be in the HRE again, at least not the next one, whenever that may be. It may be somewhere more, well, not there. So, who knows? Who knows? Okay, well, I think that's about the extent of our dynasty and our lineage. Do we need to talk about the children that we cited as Grayscale Leo? I guess Demetra is going to be our next heir. Kind of wish that she had ended up with a better education, but that's fine. Again, this is the end of our campaign, so it's all good. Garbage, Ermenberg, who's going to be the Queen of Denmark, I believe. Egbert, who ended up with the Said trait, who's, I think, one of our best looking characters in our dynasty. Not gonna lie. So, despite my features, we ended up with a pretty cool looking character. The fuck looks more like me, I guess, but, you know. What else? Also had a dwarven child. Sure. And then, ugh. Man. If only we had ended up with an albino. I wish it was a... I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't wish it was a bit more easier to acquire those negative traits, but still. I was hoping that we could, you know, replace the Habsburgs in terms of our inbred features, but sadly, 'twas not to be. Actually, are the Habsburgs still around? Wait, hold on. They must be, right? Oh, they are. Okay, good. They are. Oh, I can kind of see the chin. A little bit, right? Maybe? Although I don't think the Habsburg chin started until like much farther into their rule, right? Yeah, because I think this is still kind of in the early stages. So maybe farther down the line in history, that's when we start to see the chin, because this guy's got a fairly decently shaped chin. As a matter of fact, it's quite chiseled. But maybe she was more of an outlier. Yeah, never mind. Okay, so let's take a look at the rest of the world. I don't know if I necessarily need to look at the inside of the Holy Roman Empire. It is a giant fucking mess. Pretty much everyone hates me. So just like in real life. But also, yeah, I think if I wanted to chop and change this up, it wouldn't be too bad actually, because I can just get these guys to demand conversion, and then once they refuse, just imprison every single one of them. And since I have the prison feudal complex, it seems that imprisoning these guys is going to be very easy, especially with my intrigue level as well. Unless maybe there's someone with really high intrigue that I might want to take a look at. Let me actually look at that now, just to see. So within my realm, looking at rulers with high intrigue, who hate me, preferably a duke of some kind. Ah, okay, so this guy's... Really? He's got the highest intrigue score? Okay, so his intrigue... I guess maybe their intrigue score doubled is the malice that you see there? I wonder? So... Whereas with the bonus, it's just a straight up one-to-one conversion. I see. And their opinion is capped out at 50%? Right. Interesting. So yeah, again, I think the feudal, prison feudal complex is quite useful. Unless your intention is to get them to avoid imprisonment and rebel against you, then, you know, that's a whole other can of worms, but yeah. So let's not look too much into our Holy Roman Empire, because I think we can pretty much go down the rabbit hole with this one. So Denmark here, I hope to establish by the end of our campaign, but sadly, this lady was too powerful. She's too healthy, 72 years old and still fine. Dang it, woman. You're supposed to be dead. Ugh. But no, she still perseveres. So anyways, sorry, sidebar there. And Pomerania here, really funny what happened to these guys. Maybe not so much for them, but funny for us at least. So yeah, pretty cool that we can basically enact biological warfare on our enemies and all that stuff. So I guess looking at Scandinavia, we still have Sweden and Norway. Norway still seems to be... Wow, Norway's doing the best out of all of them. Which really isn't all that surprising, I suppose, because Sweden tends to be fraught with a lot of strife with the Sumenusko, as well as the dudes down here. Whereas Norway's kind of more isolated from all that stuff, and they can just raid and all that. I guess they're not Vikings anymore, so maybe not so much the raiding part, but yeah. And then we have not Sapmi. No, the Sumenusko dudes, I think, are still struggling to come together, but that's usually the way it goes when it comes to Catholic versus pagan religions. So, you know, not that surprising, I guess. cultural map mode in case you're curious. Finland. Cool. I guess I don't know what to say besides Finland. That's it. That's all I have to say about Finland. Finland. I was kind of hoping it would become a kingdom, but didn't quite turn out that way. That's fine. That is fine. And then we move into the British Isles. Still relatively how it was a while ago, I guess. Although, I'm pretty sure Cornwall is like historically Welsh. But I guess it just got incorporated into England? Why do I recall Cornwall? I don't think Wessex is a part of England or Wales though, the Kingdom of Wales rather. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was always England. Whereas Cornwall, I could have sworn, but we do have de jure drift on, so that might have been it. What else? England, currently broke. Alba, not so broke. And a more prestigious dynasty. Interesting. Very cool. Not much else to say besides that. Ireland sadly wasn't able to come together to push back against the Brits, but yeah, that's usually par for the course, I guess. Not tribal though, are they? No, they're all feudal. I guess at this point in history, that would make sense. Sure. I keep forgetting that we're not playing with the... we didn't start off in the earlier start of this, of the timeline. Yeah. And then we have France here, ruled by some pirate dude, which is pretty cool. Sadly, they seem to be kind of losing hold of their realm, which I guess isn't all that surprising. No, what happened recently with France here that made this happen? Ah, I see. Yeah, that's bound to cause some friction for sure, so good luck there. Burgundy, I think, was a part of our HRE, wasn't it? Or was it always part of our Francia? I thought Burgundy was a part of our realm at some point, and then it just broke off and ended up being this, Yeah, definitely. Wait, was Conrad our starting, Kaiser? No, I think it was Rudolph, wasn't it? Hold on. How did this, start? Oh, no, it wasn't. Oh, yeah. I remember, this guy's on a thumbnail. Of course. Okay, so I think it started with... Was it him? Or did we actually start with, this guy? I think we started with this guy. Yeah, and then, I guess the vote went to a different, dynasty member. Who then, Oh, and then at some point, we had Louis Guzman as, the Holy Roman Emperor too. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Such a shame his, rule was, not very long, but yeah, that's fine. And I think this guy was the one that we had the strong hook on for a long time, which was pretty fucking cool, gotta say. But anyways, it seems that the Iberian Peninsula is having a bit of problems. I'm guessing it's mostly the... Oh, maybe not. What the... Oh, right, I forgot about that. Yeah, maybe there's not as much... Oh, no. Oh, no, that's clan. Maybe not as much strife between the Muslims and Christians in the Iberian Peninsula as I first thought. But anyways. And then we have North Africa. I don't know if this is super interesting. It was pretty cool that we were able to manipulate the happenings here with the whole kidnapping and conversion of the heir and all that stuff. Which we can definitely do again in the future. And maybe something, I don't know. I don't know if we can actually have an entire campaign based around that, but yeah. I don't know what happened with these guys, but I think they were at some point one kingdom, and then it just kind of like broke off into several pieces, it seems. Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't really have a frame of reference for what it was before, so who cares? Anyways, we have Ghana here, who I guess are maybe a little bit bigger than before? Maybe? Sadly, we were not able to see any of the African religions convert in this or reform in this campaign, but yeah, that's fine. I guess the Muslim influence is a little strong, isn't it? Yeah, it's a real shame. That is a real shame. Maybe once we play in that part of our world ourselves, we can fix that. Oh, religion map mode. Cultural map mode, in case you're curious. And then we come to East Africa. Or rather or specifically the Horn of Africa. Who are now largely Ashari. Yeah, oh, pretty heavy Coptic presence too, though. Yeah. Wait, was Abyssinia always Coptic? I think I ask this every single time. Yep, I guess so. I guess so. And Nubia is, I remember, always Coptic too. Right. Yeah, I guess the Waki were more down here and on the Oh, look at that coat of arms. Oh, I like that. Oh, that's so cool. They get a little gecko kind of thing. Oh man, I want to play as that dynasty. Just solely based on this, really. Interesting. wait, what was that? Never malicious, always forgiving. Okay, I read that as at the corner of my eye. I read that as never malicious, always forgetting. The always forgetting part really spoke to me on a spiritual level, and I thought that was the embodiment of my entire being. As a matter of fact, I'm always forgetting. And here's Socotra. Sadly, not a merchant republic, but that was a fun campaign too, I will say. But different game. Anyways, religion map mode, cultural map mode. And then we come into Arabia, which I guess is kind of more broken up than before, seemingly. I think. Oh, Ibadi's still around though. Interesting. I would have thought that this would have been stomped out by now, but I guess not. Because I think they should be considered hostile to each other, no? I kind of wish you could see the relation between two religions that are not my own, though. Because they consider... Yeah, I'm pretty sure they consider each other to be hostile. Yeah. So, surprising that they've been able to stay as long as they have. But anyways. Oh, sorry. I'm jumping all over the place here, too. I don't know if there's anything too interesting. Musavi? Ooh, Musavi. Interesting. Maybe it's a Canadian dynasty or something. Not to imply that only mooses only exist in Canada, but, you know. I guess the only moose or meese or meeson that I've seen in real life was in Canada, so I don't know. I'm talking just gibberish here. Anyways, we come to Egypt. Who had a bit of a turmoil in their past when one of their heirs was kidnapped. And then subsequently passed on for succession. So, wait, who ended up going through that, by the way? I forget. Was it the one that we had the child with? Was he the one? Yes, the Fatimids. That's it. Yeah. We have forever changed the course of their bloodline, I guess you could say. Well, not really, because they still ended up having a succession to their dynasty, but still, industry without doubt. Wow. Wait. Did they change hands? Oh, it was conquered by a claimant. Oh, but they're still of the Fatimid dynasty. I see. Yeah, so I guess I'm not entirely sure what changed, but maybe if I timed it so that I... Oh, also, being able to do double schemes, really powerful. Really powerful. Because I think what I could have done is if I timed it right, maybe I could have planned to kidnap the heir, like, maybe the same day or right before we had murdered the other dude, or if we had killed the caliph. So I think what we could have done is maybe kidnap the heir like the day before or right before the caliph was assassinated, and then perhaps, I guess, after he dies, perhaps, I don't know if it's maybe the succession got reset because he was imprisoned or something, but yeah, or maybe he was too distant to interact with. That's not it. I don't know what happened, but it would have been cool if we'd, you know, if the guy had inherited the caliphate inside my dungeons. But anyways, now we move on to the Gurgans here, who also had a bit of a strife. But yeah, I remember this realm has gone through a lot of change of hands. Installed by faction demand. Still part of the Seljuk dynasty though. So still within the same family, but yeah, died in captivity. Wow, holy shit. No children whatsoever. Unbelievable. So yeah, kidnapping, I fucking love it. In game, obviously, not in real life. But moving on. Religion map mode, culture map mode, a mishmash of different cultures, and now we come to the Byzantines, who are, wow, undergoing a relative peace, if you can believe that. Holy shit. And this is the, right, the grandson of the dude that we had imprisoned. The guy who I thought looked like a melted Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah. Who also died in captivity. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. And I think his firstborn son had a son too, and he's now the emperor. That is pretty fucking hilarious. Holy shit. But yeah. Orthodox and also Greek, obviously. And now we come to Eastern Europe. A bit of a weird trajectory, I guess, but whatever. Ruthenia and Galicia Volhynia kind of stick out at me. Novgorod as well. But besides them, a lot of kingdoms sprouting on here, actually. Yeah. I wonder which one of them will come to form Russia. So far, it's looking like Ruthenia's got the biggest realm. At least in terms of troop count. And I think also the size of their realm. And I realize that maybe there's no way for me to see the realm size. Unless there is. Which I don't think there is. Unless there is? I don't know. Anyways, oh, largely Orthodox. I guess that's historically correct, right? Because Russia's largely Orthodox? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Cool. And then we come into the steppes area. It is a giant fucking mess, as it usually always is. Wow. What a fucking Giga Chad, holy shit. And look at his... Oh no. I was gonna say Giga Chad child, but he might be Giga dead at some point. I don't know. I think he's gonna have a lot of health issues. Gigantism and also inbred. Not a good mix, I must say, but I don't know. He might live longer than us all. Who knows, right? Because Electros lived out to be a lot longer than I expected. Wow, still largely angry. And then there's also the Turumik dudes over here. Cool. Cultural map mode, in case you're curious about this steppes region. I guess we didn't actually see the Mongol invasion happen in this campaign, did we? No, would have been cool to see it, but also I think I would have been very disappointed because of the fact that horse lords still don't really exist in this game. Whoa, an historian. Ah, right, because that's the Eastern variant of... Yeah. Despite this, its unique outlook has garnered followers in places as far as China, India, and even Mongolia. Cool. But still largely Buddhist up here. I see. Great Liao. Wait. Is the kingdom actually called Great Liao? So, wait, hold on. Did the kingdom come first or the dynasty come first? Or is it... I'm assuming this is a historical dynasty or something? Yep, okay. Okay, so... It's basically been around for a while then. I see. Hence the name and dynasty all corresponding. Right. Okay, so now we come to Tibet, which is still, unfortunately, largely very fractured. Thankfully, we don't seem to have any characters with their boobs sticking out anymore. I mean, we do, but at least they're not, the nipples aren't visible, because you know how much of a averse reaction YouTube has to nipples of any kind. But anyways, sadly, doesn't seem to have really consolidated much. There's 2 Khutans though. One is Muslim and the other is Buddhist. Interesting. Okay, largely Nagcho's Buddhist though, so I guess religion-wise they kind of came together, but besides that, not too much, which was kind of a shame. Would have been cool to see Tibet come together, but oh well. I don't think the AI had much success blobbing too much in this campaign. Now, there are some notable exceptions to the rule, but I don't know. Maybe the exception is Tibet, actually. Yeah, not the other way around. Anyways, and now we move into India here. Whoa! The Pagans are still around, though. Wow. Anyways. Holy shit. I guess, what, do they not have a lot of, enemies surrounding them, I guess? Right. Both Buddhist. Maybe that's why? Perhaps. And it looks like the, Surapalad are the, maybe, biggest realm in India right now. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think you guys might want to sport a beard. Even the ladies. Wow. You see, I wish we had something like this happening, you know? Maybe not so much the malice that we get from being ugly or whatever, but at least a very strong physical feature that we could pass down to our children would have been really cool, but I don't know. Anyways, what else? Religion map mode and cultural map mode. What is this? Mon. Are you Mon? Mon. Oh, it's a Burmese. Wait, so there's Burmese and then there's Mon. But they're part of the Burmese culture group. Oh, Burman culture group. My bad. Okay, I see. That makes sense. And not much else to really say about that. Okay, I feel like I'm kind of missing some stuff. I don't know if I've failed to address anything. Would have been cool, I think, to maybe play around with the faction system a bit more. Like maybe using our strong hooks and all that jazz to coax people into joining our factions. That would have been cool too, I think. So maybe in the future, when we play as another vassal, we can try exploring that a bit more, and instead of using the intrigue tree or intrigue system, we can try to use maybe more diplomatic ways of helping our faction and all that stuff. I don't know if that makes any sense. But yeah, I think what I wanted to take away from this campaign was the utility of the intrigue system. While it's not groundbreakingly powerful, I think it has its uses. and it can certainly add a lot of interesting things to do in your campaign. But I think it's a little difficult to have an entire campaign just use nothing but intrigue. Eventually, I think you're gonna hit a wall. Either that, or you're gonna hit a wall of molasses, in that it's gonna slow you down in your goals and all that stuff. Like I said, I think we could have actually done a lot of what we did simply through intrigue, but that would have taken so long. So I think if you want to do anything with any feasible amount of time, especially in being able to accomplish many things in one character's lifetime, you kind of need to use all the systems. So not just intrigue, but also war, etc., and diplomacy, that kind of stuff too. So yeah. But that being said, I have some new ideas for what we can do in our future campaigns in terms of scheming and all that stuff. So again, I think this campaign was a great success, and more importantly, I had a lot of fun. This one was like, I didn't know where it was gonna go because I didn't really have any strong concrete goals, and again, I hadn't really explored the intrigue system in CK3 as much, you know, so I wasn't quite sure what was doable, but I really enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun. Like, the kind of stories that we made up as along the way, like the whole biological warfare thing, which was a bit of a hack the accident, but also kidnapping the rulers of various realms. At a certain point, it felt like I was playing Dr. Evil from like Austin Powers, like this goofy world domineering person.
Ew, I've captured all the rulers of the entire world. Now they will pay me 500 ducats each as they... oh, wait, you don't have 500 ducats? Oh, fuck. How much do you have? 25 it costs me more to kidnap you. What the fuck? Oh, unbelievable. Scotty? Oh, this is just the worst. I don't know.
It kind of felt like that for sure. So that was pretty cool, and maybe something that we can do in the future. A little gamey in a way, I guess you could say, but you know, I mean, the way I see it, if they put it in the game and there's some sort of mechanic to you know, balance it out, then it's balanced. Is kind of my thinking. But who knows? Let's see. So for our future campaigns, I have some ideas. I won't divulge what they are just yet in case I decide to do something different, but I don't think we'll be playing as a Catholic realm for our next one. No, I might want to go a little farther out from Europe or something. We'll see. We'll see. I don't want to limit my options in case I hear about some great ideas or something. So we'll keep that option open. Yeah, apologies for the very all over the place post-mortem, and I do feel like I kind of missed some stuff, but I think a lot of the stuff I've already addressed in previous post-mortem, so I don't want to sound like a broken record there. But yeah, I think this is a good place to end our post-mortem. I will be coming up with a new campaign very soon, and I'll have some options available for voting and whatnot for supporters of the channel, etc., etc. And speaking of which, as this is, I guess, the technical last episode of the series, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who followed along. Just spending any amount of time of your busy day, you know, just watching me ramble on and bumble around and whatnot. I really, really appreciate it. Obviously, if you enjoyed the content, I would greatly appreciate you leaving a like. Let me know what you thought about the campaign, you know, your favorite parts of it, that kind of stuff. And also if you have ideas for future campaigns. Now, I have seen some of the ideas that you guys have suggested, and I do like them, and I have them on a running list of suggested campaigns in the future. They're not always going to be available for voting, though, because I feel like, you know, 2 Catholic campaigns back-to-back, for example, would be maybe too much Catholic for me. I think I would actually like to sprinkle a bit of paganism and other stuff in there. Other non-Christian religions in there, too. So, yeah. I'm not ignoring any suggestions. I'm just, you know, rotating them differently, I guess you could say, to make sure that things feel, smell, and taste fresh, unlike my grundle and my entire being. But, you know, there you have it. yeah, oh, so shoot, I've forgotten now. If you aren't already, be sure to subscribe. And if you want to support the channel financially, which again, you don't have to do, don't ever feel pressure to do so. But if you do, you are more than welcome to, and I would greatly appreciate it. You can do so via Patreon, or by joining the channel as a member, or by subscribing to me on Twitch. But again, you don't have to feel pressured to do any of that, so don't worry about that at all. Okay, guys, well, that's going to be it for our post-mortem. I apologize for the rather lengthy post-mortem, but I guess they kind of are around this length with Tiki 3, at least so far. So, yeah, nothing too crazy, I suppose you could say. All right, well, that's going to be it for our Goblin of Göttingen campaign. That one was a lot of fun, and hopefully our next campaign will be just as much fun, if not even more so. All right, so thank you so much for watching, and have an amazing breakfast.